Black Oni. What's up, everybody? This is Will Wiggins, also known as Black Oni for the artists, and for the gamers, it's JBlaze06. Today, I am giving you a time lapse of my latest piece titled Ninja Kitty Cuddle. This is a digital painting of Catwoman pouncing on Batman. And in between her pounce, there's a little action line there. She cuddles him right afterwards, as opposed to attacking him. So I want this to be a fairly non-violent piece, something really cute. So what you saw before was just a quick sketch. Oh my God, someone's texting me. Please stop. And it was a quick sketch. Kind of figuring out where characters are going to be and what's going to happen. So I didn't want to record that part because it was kind of boring. But right now I'm just going through adding the lines, adding the different pieces of the building. The building was kind of a pain in the butt, but overall everything was still a lot of fun. And here I'm just refining all the line work. I'm using a Cintiq 24 HD Touch to do all this. And I'm doing this super fast because I don't want to bore you too much with details. That might not be that important. I'm using Photoshop to create this painting, and using a basic brush tool. I have the opacity set all the way at 100, so none of the opaqueness is going on there. And, what you're seeing here is me just blocking in some colors, some of the basic colors, Catwoman's suit. And you'll see me changing some of the colors, so now that suit's a little bit more purple than it was before. And you don't really know what colors you're going to be choosing until you start doing the actual digital painting itself. And for this part, I started going through and figuring out where I was going to put the trees, and I was like, oh wait, I'm actually not going to have it be separate for the trees and the trunks and the branches and stuff like that. So. You'll see very soon what I end up doing with that. But right now I'm just blocking in the solids, blocking in the basic colors. And you'll see me switching back and forth between the full background and white background. You might see the gray background in there as well. And so I added a little gradient, figuring out what colors I wanted to put in there, and overlaid some textures. And then over those textures, I painted over those textures and used the warp tool to change and manipulate the textures, and then I painted over that as well. I wanted to give this a really unique feel and still kind of have it feel like it's from the Scribblenauts universe, but also have it feel like it's very stylized and very unique. And so here you'll see a lot of the shading going on. I didn't even get to Batman yet, but I really wanted to create a dramatic background without having it be too distracting. So I didn't try to put too many details in the background because I didn't want that to be a focal point. I just wanted it to be a point of reference, really, for the situation. And you'll see the highlights from the moon coming in there, and the clouds are getting a little bit of treatment, a little bit of love there. And I started going through and making some additions to the line work, but I decided I didn't like that. I wanted to have more of the detail just be in the coloring itself. And so pretty soon you're going to start seeing some of those details really pop and come in. Some of the lighting, reflective lighting from the environment, and her transition over to Bruce Wayne. And I get a little crazy with the rendering. I probably didn't even need to render as much as I did here, but I just love that part of the process. I love doing the line work as well, but I think the render is my favorite part because you can just really go to town with that. And painting Batman was a lot of fun. There's a very subtle little stress line over at the right side. Or on his left side, but on the right side of the screen. You'll get to see that once you zoom into the piece a little bit. Still altering the background a little bit to suit my needs. I go back and forth between things. It's really important when you're working on your process to go back and forth. So we're nearing the end. I used red, and I really did like the way the red looked as an outline, but I think in the end it was a little bit too much. So I ended up playing around with the background, having it be kind of a white overlay with an additional layer in there. But anyway, that is an overview of the video, kind of what my process was like. If you guys like the video, make sure to subscribe, press the like button and all that good stuff. As always, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.